What's up? Big Herc 916 getting down with another fresh out. Make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe. You know how we do it over here with these interviews. I got my man back once again, Tyrone from Ohio, accidental investor. This guy, if you haven't heard his story, go back and see the earlier interview. But I'm going to let him kind of briefly touch on his background, and then we're going to get into some topics, man, because there's a lot to talk about. Go ahead and break it down for the people, Tyrone.
Well, how y'all doing today? Thank you, sir, for inviting me in again. And also, some of my background, I come from I'm gonna say a middle class background. I was born in Charleston, West Virginia, but was raised in Toledo, Ohio. And also, I was a great athlete. I was all state and the mile, 2 mile across country. Then I ended up going to the United States Marine Corps. But once I got in the Marine Corps, I came back to the neighborhood, and I started seeing a lot of guys got money. I got sidetracked, ended up going to the federal prison system for can I say it on here?
Yeah, yeah.
For selling drugs. I had an 848. They laid me a kingpin. I was the first person in the state of West Virginia labeled kingpin, and I was a first time offender coming out of the United States Marine Corps. And I ended up doing 17 and a half years in the federal system.
Wow. Man, you know, I don't think we really touched on your Marine Corps background, man, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, my background, I wasn't in the military, but I grew up in a military family. So I have a different sense of America than a lot of people. I have a lot of pride. I got a lot of family that's, having served in the military, living on military bases. I remember I used to look up to the Marines when I used to see them jogging in the morning, in the shorts and stuff, and I see them dudes in the gym, and it used to inspire me. So I've always been the person where I don't get mad at whatever I've read in history, because in a sense where I can't blame somebody today for something that happened yesterday. And when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to America, I'm America first, bro. Is plain and simple, man.
Mm-hmm.
You come over here, you can't go to any other country and get the benefits they give you here. So if you come over here, you should respect the country. But like, what's your having been in the military, man? What are some of the things you feel about um, America having put your life on the line, and then what you went through afterwards, having done time in the federal system on top of that?
Well, for one, I'm gonna take responsibility of me doing time. So, but by me being in the United States Marine Corps and the amount of money we was getting, I volunteered to serve my country. I feel we don't get the respect we deserve. And also, with everything going on around the United States right now, with the ICE agents and the violence towards the ICE agents, I think it's wrong because these guys are out there putting their life on the line when they got to go apprehend somebody. Also, when I was in the military, we were putting our life on the line. Then you come back to society, we don't get the respect we deserve. And I think it's wrong because a lot of people can sit back and say how much they love the United States of America, but you ain't willing to fight for it. You ain't willing to die for it. But you're willing to die for being in the game. You're willing to die for hustling, but you ain't willing to die for your country. And then when people come over here that disrespecting our country, feel that we owe them something, they don't want to have allegiance with the United States of America and our people, I feel you should be deported. Because if you honor this country, you should come over here and want to have our customs. If you go to Russia, if I speak only French or I speak Swahili, the Russian people are going to tell you got to learn their language. You got to take on their custom. They're not going to sit there and do what you want to do. Now, I'm 35 miles away from Detroit. It's a place called Dearborn, Michigan. The biggest concentration of Arabs in the United States. You drive through there, you think you're in Beirut. You think you're in Lebanon. So they taking on their own customs and keeping them, which is great. But you still honoring terrorists. You still honoring your president. You still honoring your country. You don't get a United States respect. So I don't think nobody had a right to say anything about this country. And we giving you a privilege to be here. You my freaking guest. You coming to my home, take your shoes off. Respect my wife, respect my children. Or not, man, I got to kick you out.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I look at, like, a lot of these other countries. When you get over there, you have to acclimate to their culture. You're not running
Mm-hmm.
around with American flag over in Madagascar or
Mm-hmm.
Portugal. You're not over there talking about how bad that country is, but you still want to live there and get benefits from the country. And you know, in my opinion, anybody that served in the military, okay, they might give you certain things for college funds or a home loan, but you should be a
Mm-hmm.
millionaire. You should when you get out of the military, you should have $1 million in your account after taxes because you served, you took a chance, you sacrificed, and all these
Mm-hmm.
people out here who disrespect veterans, who overlook them, who are so busy worried about continuing the drug usage and all this stuff and funding all the home, they should be looking at first and foremost all
Mm-hmm.
the veterans. They should have no issues with medical. They shouldn't have to go through all these hoops and all this stuff. They should be able to get proper post-traumatic treatment. A lot of guys, I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend who was in military in the Marines. He was a officer trying to get the use of cannabis to treat, so these guys aren't getting addicted to the prescription drugs, uh,
Mm-hmm.
psychiatric help. A lot of guys who have done with stuff, people they over here and they're running around and they think they don't know what people are seeing over there. They don't know like what you can't talk about when you get back because you got to go back into
Right.
normal society. So you
Right.
suppress a lot of this stuff just like when you go do time, and sometimes, I have a day where I just feel like defeated. And then I got to pick myself up. I'm not like I'm a like go out, but I'm like, man, and then I realize like this is all the stuff that's built up. And sometimes if you don't have people to talk to talk to about this, it's overlooked. And so I feel there should be more support groups, but for sure our military, man, for the and how they disgrace the military and the last administration by having showing guys twerking all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a place for that, man. If that's what you want to do, keep that at your house. Your sexuality, if you like men, if you like whatever you want to do, but that shouldn't be on the public surface. That's not a representation of the country, and that should not be the focus, man. And so I feel they really demean a lot of the guys who are out here trying to make a living, who went into the military to feed their family, to get out of situations, to do better for themselves. And it's just there need to be more respect for the veterans, man. A lot of these guys, run around yelling and supporting all the foreign, all these guys. You don't even know what the hell is going on. You ain't never left your town.
Right.
You ain't never traveled outside your state, and you're complaining, talking, making up stuff that you read on social media. You know nothing about those cultures. You don't know what's
Right.
going on over there. And you don't know the big chess game that's being played on a global scale. You're happy to go get your $3.99 loaf of bread, but if that shit went to $10, what you gonna do? If gas was $15, what you gonna do? So when you talk about, oh, they're doing this, okay, well, let everything go the way you want to go and see what happens.
Wow. Wow. That's deep. That's deep, bro. Now, I can't speak on no other branch, but I can speak on the Marine Corps. Now, being in the Marine Corps, everybody is a combat soldier, period. I don't care if you work in a mess hall. I don't care if you're a truck driver, law enforcement. Your ad is a rifleman first and foremost. And the only thing is bad about the Marine Corps, they train you every day to die. What I mean by that, a lot of time we getting sent on a suicide mission. All you gotta do is look at shit like Black Hawk Down.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna send 12 people to go and get 300. But the psyche is that they make it like we Superman, we the Incredible Hulk. So
Yeah.
12 individuals really think that we can defeat a whole battalion of terrorists. But when it's time for me to come home, you never turned me off.
Yeah.
So now I'm dealing with all this mental illness that I don't realize I have it. I'm dealing with anger, depression, anxiety. I'm trying to cope back with society. A lot of us end up using drugs. Majority of people in the Marine Corps are alcoholics. So you using alcohol to cope. A lot of us don't know how to get back into the workplace because we're so angry and upset. So you get a job, somebody say something, you snap out, now you're incarcerated. or you didn't unalive somebody because you mentally gone. So when it was time for you to get out, they didn't reprogram us
Yeah.
for the civilian world. And
Yeah.
then a lot of us end up getting hooked on these drugs because we self-medicating because we got all these demons inside of us. Now I'm homeless. Then I can't hold down a relationship because nobody can understand you. So when people say certain stuff about this country or being in the military, you're wrong and you haven't been there. And also, if you look at our pay scale, if you take a general, just say he's been in there 40 years, he's still only gonna make $10,000 a month. But this man is running a Fortune 500 company. I'm in there. I got out as a sergeant. I was making like $1,400 every 2 weeks. Now, mind you, that tax, I had child support for one child at that time. But damn, how can you survive on that? Plus, if you break it down, we don't work at 9 to 5 in the Marine Corps. Like I said, I can't speak on nobody else. In the Marine Corps, I could be in the field 6 months straight. I can work 8 hours on, 4 off, 8 hours on. And we might be out there 6 months. So you add it up, I'm basically making $1 to $2 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
risking my life. And people don't see that. And then when we out here fighting, a person come back to society, missing an arm, missing a leg, mentally messed up. You got to fight the government to get some kind of assistance. Now, just say a person in a wheelchair. You want to get this man 100% disability. But damn, that ain't nothing but $4,200 a month. It's tax free, but what man or woman can really survive off $48,000 a year? One of them I'm in California, I'm in Arizona, I'm in Texas. So you're gonna tell me this man risked his life for $4,000 a month and you don't take care of him or his family? It's ludicrous to me. And people don't see that. They don't see that part. Well, you get free medical. Man, if I go in there right now, okay, I'm from Ohio. The next hospital close to me is in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 45 minutes to an hour away. Now, if I got hurt right now, I can't call them. I got to call them if I ain't knocked out or in a coma. Hey, I just got shot in the leg. I ain't gonna, can you make it Ann Arbor? No, I'm an hour away. Well, going to the hospital. When I get over there, I got to show them my military ID. They would sit there and call back and let them know the procedure I'm going through. But damn, why shouldn't be able to go to any hospital? And then we don't have a hospital in Toledo. So if I break a fucking leg, if they say I can't go to the hospital at that time, I can't go. And then I can't just walk over there and say, hey, I got pneumonia. Can I come in? Well, we'll call you back in a couple of days. So we don't even get good medical treatment. We get no respect. And then people say we go to school free. No, we don't. We had to pay into that, the GI Bill. I had to put money into that. They give us nothing free. Even with our meals, people don't realize the meals that we ate on base, even I never ate on base, is still coming out my check. We don't get free meals. Them clothes we get, we got to buy them clothes. We got to buy them boots. We got to buy our own equipment, except for, backpacks, helmet, flat jacket, and the guns. But our uniform, we got to purchase that stuff. And it don't last long when you're in the field.
When you say that, and like I said, I probably, it would have been a good option for myself at the time because I didn't have no direction. But I almost feel like a lot of young people, kind of like how they do in Israel, bro, they should go and serve 2 years so they can learn discipline.
Yeah.
They should learn respect. I mean, growing up with that background, I learned a lot about how to carry myself, how to be courteous, how to respect my elders. When you see people on base and they got a bunch of medals on their shoulder or right here, you know that they done been through some stuff, man. You know that these guys,
right.
They command respect. See, on the street, these dudes think they get respect. Oh, I'm a geek. Man, you ain't been through nothing. And then you don't know how to respect anybody else, but you want respect. And the thing about the military, you will respect. There's a level. There's a level to the game. And there's some dudes in there who might look like they just little dudes and they will twitch you up.
Yes, sir.
They know how to kill you with their bare hands. So, you never know who you're dealing with. But I think for the level of respect and the ungratefulness and the unaccountability of the young people, and I'm not trying to badge on all the young people,
Mm-hmm.
man, but a lot of you guys, you don't respect the game, man. And when people try to generally give you something of value, you think you know it all. You
Mm-hmm.
think you have all the answers, and that's one thing you realize, especially military background family. You got guys who have been through some shit. You hear some of them stories, and you like, damn, dude made it out of that shit. Like, dude, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
suicide missions. Like, if you don't make it to this point, then we can't pick you up. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? We're only going to be there for X amount of time. So, there's a
Right.
lot of things. I mean, just the physical, the psychological. If you ever, watch the guys Navy SEAL training, special ops
Mm-hmm.
for the or Green Beret training, the type of mentality you have to be able to sit somewhere for hours looking at something to maybe take somebody out or extract somebody from a situation.
Yep.
And and then like you said, come back and try to work a job. You go to Walmart and you got a dude who's disrespecting. You got this dude over
Yep.
here talking crazy. You know what I mean? And this guy, you're like, dude, so I just think like that level of respect, if young people maybe had to serve, you would think differently when you come back, and your respect for the country, the sacrifices, the freedoms we have. Cause you go to
Mm-hmm.
go to go to go to Dubai and overstay your visa. Go to
Woo!
Indonesia and overstay your visa. Go to Philippines and you're over there illegally. See what
Yes.
happens. You go over there and call the government some names and talk shit. They will be at your
Yes.
house like this, and
Yes.
bro, you will get beat down. Go over to
Yes.
South Korea and think that you're American and you're gonna go over there and talking crazy. You'll be locked up in a place and nobody will know where you're at for weeks. People just
Yes.
think, they see all this stuff and these youth, they go places and they're talking crazy in other countries. Bro, there's a consequence to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But people come over here disrespecting our country, acting like whatever, and thinking, oh man, this is America. We can do what we want over here. The police can't touch me. I've never seen so many people, man. And every time I've been arrested, I went to jail. I didn't get in and out like these dudes 30 times.
Right.
I've never seen nobody until recent, like spitting on police, talking crazy. Dude, you gotta be out of
Wow.
your mind. When they told me to get on the ground, bro, I'm like, I'm not moving, I'm
Right.
not talking shit. Where's your ID
Right.
at, man? Look, I'm not. These people who are talking crazy to the police, you grew up in, man, back in the day, you talk, man, you will get, man, beat down, bro. They don't know how good
Might
they
not make
got
it
it.
to the county. You might not make it to the county. Like you
Man,
said, when the Fed kicked my door in, I got up, I got in a handcuff. They talked to me a second. I was in my drawers. They let me put my pants, my clothes on. They walked me out. They started talking to me like we was cool because I didn't disrespect them. I know they got a job to do. And also, when you say going to a foreign country, I'm going to use Japan. When I was stationed over there, we had an orientation. They told her what to do and not to do in Japan.
yeah,
When went to the Philippines, when went to Indonesia, Thailand, we knew what not to do. And they told us, if you get in any bad situation, please try to get back to base. Because if you don't, you got to go by their laws of their land. And whatever they want to prosecute you on, it can happen. Japan, you get caught with weed. Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, you can die. And a lot of guys was out there taking a risk, but they say get the base. Because you don't, the United States government going to leave you there because they got to follow their laws and their customs. Now, people come over here and burn our freaking flags. When I was little, you burn a flag, you go to prison.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Same way with Donald Trump. He's the president of the United States of America. I got so mad 2 months ago when you can have a person, an ex-military dude, because he don't like Trump, gonna say, if he give you an unlawful order to stand down, don't nobody have the right to make the decision what's unlawful and lawful when he's the commander in chief. A lot of orders were unlawful. When we went in Iraq, Iran, when we fought the Taliban, the people that we trained in the 80s,
Yeah.
when they got Gaddafi, a lot of orders, but this is my job. This is what I signed up for. And for you to tell these people to stand down to go against our president, that's treason. Every day people on there arguing about this man. I'm like, man, y'all wake up with this man on your mind. He got 36 months. Respect the title, respect the government, and we'll be okay. But you got our leaders sending our kids on the front line. Like the devil, look at his news. A guy got unalived today in Minnesota. He tried to run the ICE agents over with a car. This boy or girl would never see their family again. But you put the ICE agents' life in jeopardy. But our leadership should say, hey, President Trump is doing the right thing. Let the ICE agents do their job. We'll figure this out in the courtroom. Now, if the ICE agents don't do the job, we still can figure out in the courtroom. But don't tell these young, immature children who can't think, they're fueled on emotions, to go out there and protest and attack these people. These people trying to survive. Now, a kid is dead. But our government is not stepping up and saying, hey, y'all got to let these people do the job. So we making America a lawless society. What the fuck? How everything in America is so lawless? How can Hector, Jesus, Abib tell us what to do and how to feel is wrong? You spending all this money in Minnesota, but we talk about it. The news get mad at us for talking about it. I'm saying it's ludicrous.
Well, they called it white supremacy. They said the young kid was a white supremacist conservative who was basically picking on a community of people. And at the end of the day, bro, it is what it is. They're one thing people don't understand about people from, and I'm just saying in general, I've been around Africans. I caught my case with Africans, very tribal. They don't look at blacks or America as part of their culture. It's different over there. You're not, you got Somalian, you have Nigerian, South American, and even within those countries, Ghana, they have tribes. And those tribes, when they come over here, are loyal to them. They don't care about Minnesota people, these liberal white people who are running around trying to protect them. Bro, everybody's in on the hustle. And I can see why those people are protesting for him, the ones who are speaking out, because they're in on it. You cannot have that level of fraud in one state at that level for over 10 years. They've been doing this shit and nobody went to jail. If me and you ran that in Ohio, bro, they would have been kicked in our door for running a false daycare, or for me and you running a medical transport company and we ain't got no passengers. Me and you couldn't get those grants like that, 1.5, because we don't have the people. We don't have our tribal people tied in with the politicians who are electing the mayor, who are electing the governor, who's all eating off this. This is a big scam. See, they're replacing black people. Black people over here, they're going to get Somalians. They're going to get people from Afghanistan. They're going to get all the foreigners, like you said, make it whatever, because they're going to get their vote, and they don't care because they really don't want nationalism in this country. They don't want patriotism. They don't want us to feel good about America. They want you to hate America, but stay over here and basically elect people like that guy in New York, the mayor, and push shit like that.
Right. And also, we're going to tap on the Somali situation. Most of them don't like Americans. If they born in their country, their ladies and them are not going to interact with us. Now that their kid was raised over in America, they might do it. I'm across the street from the University of Toledo, this shop. We get a lot of foreigners. Most of them, I ain't going to say they think they're better than us, but the Africans, the Nigerians, the Ethiopians, they kind of look down on us. But when you say this man is a white supremacist because he revealing the truth and the media run with it, but what about the white supremacy when y'all ran with it with the crack epidemic? What about the white supremacy when if we commit a fraud with the PPP loans, you broadcast all day long? Or what about the white supremacy that you see one black person commit a crime, you label the whole black community since Reconstruction? So don't come with me with that, because my girl, she owned group homes. They come through there and will inspect.
Yes.
So you can't tell me now one time they done snuck up on you, inspect, and they never seen no kids in a 10-year period, and y'all taking billions. You saying you feeding thousands and thousands of kids. Not one time y'all say, hey man, let me go to this food bank and see if these kids getting fed every day. You know, Miss Omar and what his name Walls, they in cahoots. It's impossible. They do it with a fine tooth comb. Right now, I'm with a behavioral agency. We're doing an after school program in Toledo Public School System. When the people come in, we got to do an intake. We sign the name down, and they can get billed to Medicaid. Medicaid would get their billing, but one of the kid is not there. And I signed them in and said it was there. We bill Medicaid, but the kid was at another doctor appointment. So you're going to tell me in 10 years, you had no red flags. Some of them kids were at other places doing other programs with Medicaid. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They know what's going on. That's why he's not going to try to run again, because they're going to expose him. And then they're going to get hurt because she shows every day that she's not loyal to this country. And then they making our young youth not being loyal to the country. I don't care about your political belief. You don't like Donald Trump, you like, I don't really care. I don't vote. But at the end of the day, I'm still an American law-abiding citizen. Yes, I committed my crime, but I still always honor this country because it's a privilege that my family, my family, had came over here as slaves. I know it might sound crazy what I'm saying, but I don't know where I would have been at if we'd have stayed in Africa. But it's a blessing for me to be raised here and get the privilege I get as a black man. You go anywhere else in the world, they don't take care of black people. You go to Europe, France, they're not taking care of them people. England, the UK, no. If you're a bum, you're a bum. But we sitting here reprogramming these Latino, Hispanic, and African American youth to go against the government, and it's getting dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's getting out of control. So what we got to do as leaders and take back our leadership, like you said earlier about discipline. Two places you're going to get discipline at, prison or the military. If we start sending our youth to the military for 2 years, like almost every other country,
Yeah.
the kid going to come out with some discipline.
Yeah.
Because the discipline is gone in the household right now. These kids are so disrespectful. They will harm mama and daddy. They will harm their grandparents. They will come in and shop and harm me. It's just luckily that I got a name in the community, and I've been here in this spot for 20 years that people over here love me because I do something about my community. But what about the ones that don't like me, who don't know me? Don't like me because I'm dark brown. You light brown. We ain't taught humanity. We ain't taught love. But the main factor, these children don't have discipline. The school system is broken. The household is broken. And it got to start with discipline and respecting of your parents, your community, and your government. If not, we're going to be a lost cause in the next 10 years.
Yeah. I think for sure the parenting is one of the greatest things. And like a lot of these kids are probably 2 or 3 generations removed from the type of parenting we had. And I was just talking with a friend of mine last night and about how our community, everybody knew everybody. Like so and so's dad coached Little
Mm-hmm.
League, so and so's dad coached Pop Warner. You knew so and
Fact.
so's mom because she would always make sandwiches. Or, they had
Fact.
barbecues. We used to go at least like in the summertime. Once a month, somebody have a barbecue. Hey, meet up at the park. You go to this little park, and people would bring their little coolers, and it'd be people from all over the
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood. But everybody knew everybody. Like the neighborhood I grew up in was all retired military, and they bought these houses back when they first were developed. So the whole community, you could be on the other side of town. Somebody look out their window. Hey, Marcus, what are you doing? Oh, your grandma know you over here. Everybody knew everybody, so everybody looked out. There's no more of that. There's no looking out.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, like you said, as far as like with the parents, I didn't seen, bro. I've never seen so many articles, and sometimes I just got to get out of the rabbit hole. But these kids that are killing their parents, one dude
Mm-hmm.
told his kid to come home because it was a school night, bro. He got mad because he with his girlfriend. He murked the mom, the
Yep.
stepmom, the dad, the sister, the little brother was running outside. He shot him. He survived. He went and testified. Now the mom tried to say the little brother made the story up. He still didn't accountability. He still didn't accept accountability for killing his whole family. I'm like,
Right.
dude, these kids are demons, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are
Demons.
possessed beyond. I've never heard when I was a young person of anybody doing anything at that level. And now it's like you hear about it, and it's like in every state, like there's a story. Some kid done The one parent, she called 911. The two brothers was trying to kill the mom and the dad in the kitchen. Cops come,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And they fed you, they clothed you, they gave you a house, and you're trying to kill
Yep.
your parents? Sad, bro.
Yep. Because with their mentality now, everything with them is a privilege. Now, the breakdown in our community, like you said, when I was born in 1965, we had a village. I can go next door and play. If you outside, you can have some parents in the community going to be sitting on their porch. So we were safe in our own community. We loved each other. I knew everybody on my block. They knew my parents. I knew their parents. I knew their children. We were like a family. Now, I think me personally, after Black Panther and all them was eliminated, and then in '80 with the crack came out because you come from Cali, so y'all had a gang culture in the '60s.
Yeah.
We never had that in Ohio. Now, we had it in Chicago with Hoover and them in the '60s and '70s, but the city of Toledo, Detroit, Cleveland, we didn't start getting gangs to the late '80s, early '90s. And then with the crack, the gangs, it made it easy for me to dislike you. And now I can look at you in your eyes and say, man, I hate you enough to eliminate you. So
Yeah.
I made you an imaginary enemy.
Yeah.
You my enemy for no freaking reason because you from the west side, you from the north side, you a blood, you a crip, you a pyro, you a rolling 60, you a vice lord. So that's where our village got broke down. So now we got tribes again. So this blood is a tribe, this sector is a tribe, this Damu is a tribe. So now it's okay for the chief to send him off to war to eliminate his enemy that's imaginary. So that's where I think our community have broken down because once we get that in our mind that a person who look like you have no value, and it's easy for me to eliminate you without even actually knowing you, to hate you that much, that have been established for 40 years, embedded in your culture now, that we can never go back. Like, where's our culture?
Yeah.
Think about it. We had dashikis, Black Power, cornrow, no makeup. Now we got fake hair, fake boobs, fake eyelashes, fake noses, gang banging, unaliving, YNs. All this is what they portrayed in the media. The media controlling our culture. The media used to come to us for our culture. Now the media gonna say, this is the way you're gonna act tomorrow, Tyrone. This is what you're gonna wear, Tamika. This is how you're gonna do your butt, Kimberly. They programming us and we don't even see it. Me and you see it, but the new generation don't see it. And they put them in a death trap. Sex, violence, drugs, violence, poverty, violence, gangs, violence. Everything gonna always end with violence to eliminate us. Then abortion long term. So now we might only have maybe 1 to 5% of women who actually want to carry their child.
Yeah.
Now we killing them long term. So
Yeah.
our next generation is gone. Then with the homosexuality. My grandson, he's gay. How the fuck y'all find a kid at 8 years old, girl clothes? Well, I hold the fuck up. Don't all that stuttering. No, but I'm the bad individual. I'm the one who everybody mad at because I'm like, no, why y'all doing it? What is the nails doing polish? What he doing with long eyelashes at 8? Man, it's unbelievable. So that's a way to break down the Black culture again. Now my grandson don't never want to be with a woman. He don't even know who he is. And even when I'm in his shop, it's certain dudes. Well, I gotta say this. This shop is neutral. Like I said, I'm across the street from the University of Toledo. If guy come here with a different gang, they respect us so much, it ain't gonna be no problem. And that's the only time we see peace. Then I can sit there and talk to him and talk to him, talk to him. Some of them want to hear it, and someone got that look in their fella, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit, old dude. They had that look, so I don't even try to talk to them, but I still put it out in the air. And I done changed a lot of lives. Some guys truck drivers, some of them in factory now, some left the game alone. A guy called me today. He said, I got to talk to you about something. I said, what's up, man? He said, man, I'm gonna come here and talk to you. He came up here, we talked. He got a federal case. I said, think about it, Cody. You've been hustling about 20 years, right? He's like, yeah, since I was 16, I went to jail 2 or 3 times. I said, man, it ain't working for you. Now you got a federal case. They talking about giving you 40 years. Ain't too much I can tell you. All I can do is tell you, try to get the best plea you can because you ain't beating the feds. Because all the other time was slaps on the wrist. Now they're going to take them 3 convictions and use them against you. But the people in your community who look just like you, then love you because they never sit there and say, Cody, leave this alone. Leave this alone. Dude, this your 4th bit. I've been home 20 years. You done been in jail 3 times since I've been home. But the people who look like you hate you so much, they want you to go down that rabbit hole. They want you to be the drug dealer. They want you to be a killer for they sit back and laugh and look at this crash dummy. And we setting our children up to be crash dummies every day. And I be trying to talk to the kids like, hey, man, is it worth it? Your freedom? I said, man, I was in the penitentiaries. And I still think about that shit. I still had nightmares about that. Then I also still had nightmares about my military. I came home from prison. I was so upset and mad because I leave military, right? Get 4 or 5 years on the street hustling. Then I go to prison. But I took that military shit to the street. I was very violent and didn't care. Then I go to the the penitentiary, Atlanta Penitentiary. First time offender, I got the violent mentality. I don't give a F mentality. Then I go to Lewisburg, I get in trouble. Then I go to Terre Haute, Indiana. Then I finally got my level down, but back then it was a medium high. Went to McKean, Pennsylvania. I was so upset. And then another thing, I never got reprogrammed when I left there. Came back to society this time. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm mad. One day, a guy said something to me on the street. And I used to always see him because I'm going to my homeboy bar. And I'm looking to do it like, I started plotting. I found out where this man lived at. Found out who his girlfriend was. All this shit. Then one day I woke up and said, oh, I can't take this no more. I started going to the VA, man, and got some help. So I started going to counseling in the VA 2010. And I think I stopped in 2022. I went almost 12 years because I know I needed some help. But how many people are not going to ask for that help? Who is not going to seek it? But y'all should give it to it when you know I went from 2 extreme environments. Where it's prison, you've been there, it's crazy in the penitentiary. And in the Marine Corps. But I woke up, and thank God, I'm a God-fearing man, that I woke up and I didn't harm this man. And me and this dude cool now. But I was so upset because I thought he said something disrespectful. And I can't even remember what he said, but I was plotting.
Yeah.
So I had to go get me some help, extensive help. And I thank God for it. And right now, they diagnosed me with PTSD, and I get disability for that. I got 100% for it. So they just tell you my jacket. Most people only get 70. I got 100%.
Yeah, I used to. Well, I don't have them as much as anymore, but I used to have those nightmares where I wake up. Well, I was dreaming I'm in prison. I don't know how I got there. I can't find my counselor. I can't get my release date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get my release date in my dream.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be out, and it seems like it's real. Like I'm running around. Nobody can tell me when I'm getting out of here. What I do to be here. It's like a cold paradox, and it keeps going in circles. And I wake up, I
Mm-hmm.
realize I'm free, but you keep in, and those dreams come from when you're in prison. Sometimes you have a dream you're free, and then you hear the key, and the door open, and you wake up like you realize you're still in there. You have a dream, you out on the street, you and
Right.
you're
Right.
doing something, and you wake up and realize, damn, I'm still in this dungeon. So those dreams, man, people don't like you said, and I never went and got help, but there was times like I was like you were, I was getting work done on a car, a dude talk crazy, and I just started thinking like, man, this dude don't even know who he's talking to. I can come back here and peel his cap, but then I start thinking about cameras, my car, getting in
Right.
trouble. Is it
Right.
worth it? He ripped me off for a couple thousand on a transmission, but what I mean, he talking slick, but he don't realize, dude, I could snap your neck and wouldn't even care
Right.
about it. But I had to really meditate, man. I used to
Facts.
pray
Facts.
because I would get so mad I would cry, man, because I'm like, who does he think he's talking? You think I'm soft now because I'm not doing it like I used to, where I'd come up here at night, wait for you to lock up and catch you. You know what I mean? So it's just like you said, man. There's a lot of like when you have that type of capability in your mind, and you got to turn that off because you got to deal with people who are in the real world but who don't understand respect and integrity and doing legit good business. Like you
Mm-hmm.
know, good business for me. You can't, you know, like it's like fixing somebody's transmission and you give them a bunk transmission and it break down after you drive a few times and they come back and they're like, oh man, and they try to make excuses. If you had bunk dope, you get killed. You got bunk,
Right.
you know what I mean? You can't do that. You can't get nobody
Right.
no bunk product. It's a respect thing, man. So just like I respect in the game, if I give my motor or something, you better make sure that shit is right. You know, and
Right. Right.
that's how I always
Fact.
look at it, man. But yeah, man, it's really crazy, man. And going back to what you said, about uh you know, self-hate and these brothers, like, you know, I thought about like when everything changed, right? Because when I like the rap era, you remember like they had Special Ed, King Son,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie
Mm-hmm.
Kane, Jungle
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, X Clan,
Yep.
Kwame, Public Enemy. Remember
Yep.
we used to wear the little we never even been to Africa, but you'd had the little thing
Right.
on, and everything was about dancing. Remember, I wasn't trying to fight you. Me and you dance. We pop or we
Right.
do whatever. You know what I mean? Break dance against each other. We were all about, you know, cool haircut. It was squares. We were like having fun. You
Right.
can have a
Right.
party somewhere, and bro, there could be 100 people. Ain't nobody think about shooting nobody. Nobody. You're
Right.
trying to get at girls. You're trying to get at girls, and then come Monday,
Yep.
everybody said, "Oh man, Tyrone, bro, he killed it on the dance floor. That dude did some shit."
Right.
Everybody
Right.
talking about it. And, you know what I mean? That was fun, bro. It wasn't about after the party somebody tripping over somebody shooting this dude or tripping over this girl. It's like, dude, I look at old videos of basketball at the Rucker in New York, bro. You see all those black people together watching with
Yes.
no violence,
Yes.
no
Yes.
violence, bro. Do you ever look
Yes.
at those old concerts they used to have in Harlem when they would have like you know, Marvin Gaye, all these different people come out there and sing on
Yes.
stage, Gladys Knight. They had concerts on the street, black people together singing afros, enjoying each other. Nobody was tripping off or hurting nobody, bro. Those days are gone. You can't get a
Over.
100 black people together like that and somebody got a gun ready to shoot each other.
Right.
Sad, bro.
And I'm glad you said that. Cause if you look at the music me and you grew up on, it's about love, respect, education, uh, to watch out for the police, like, you know, Public Enemy, and they were telling them, hey, watch out the police. Even in the early 90s, when they tried to get a little gangster, but it still was telling us what was going on in your community, police brutality. Then we had the Cosby Show. We had School Day. We had all this stuff telling us, hey, that this can happen. We had black family structure. Then the music industry, the TVs, they put this narrative that black man, you got to do it this way, you got to do it this way. Then we started getting with the 50 cents. Then we started getting with the Boosies. Then we started getting with the. Now we got all the way up to the King Von. And it's unfortunate I got to say this. If that man wouldn't be gone, if he'd have got the power of Tupac, we have a lot of demons out here. Look how in 3 years' time, the YNs that took over because they listened to that kind of music. Him, Lil Dirt, and these guys. And they pushing that narrative. But when we had control of our culture and the TV, because they had to come to us to get our culture, we can pick and choose what we want to do. None ain't got to do that, because you look at all the 50 Cent movies, it's still portraying street shit.
Hey,
You
Tyrone.
might have one of the only platforms on social media that I enjoy.
Well, think
Because
about
we know
this.
you're a gangster.
Think about
We
this,
know
right?
you're a gangster.
What
Huh?
you just says, I didn't mean to cut you off, but something popped in my mind. Um, when you just said, man, you were just talking about the
50 Cent?
oh, you were talking about the Cosby Show. They were
Mm-hmm.
saying during the time the Cosby Show was running, there was a 40, I think a 50 something percent or 60% increase on young black people going to college, especially
Mm.
HBCUs. Like there was a big jump, and then they call it the Cosby effect. Then they got the Lil Wayne effect. They're the 46 decline as far as graduating because of the type of vibration. This stuff is really spiritual, bro. When you look at the music, and you were talking about like what we grew up on. When's the last time you heard somebody talk about like love? Girl, you're my only girl. I really love you,
Mm-hmm.
girl. I want to ooh ooh ooh. You know what I mean? You don't hear that no more. When have you? It's when have you said like, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl.
Right.
You don't have that, man. Like,
Right.
you're my everything. You're my heart, baby. And these guys, they should be talking like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
when I get you home tonight, we're gonna
Right.
but you don't have that, bro. They talking greasy, the B, the this, the that, the broad, I'm a whatever. And then you got the girl talking about my booty hole not black, it's brown. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
dude, where there's no class. Even back then, I remember a woman would have body, right? But she'd have on some jeans or sweats, and you'd be like, damn, woo, underneath that thing is popping. But she was mystery. You know what I mean? You see her
Right.
maybe at church, or maybe you see her at school. Only time you would see a girl with a little revealing was that PE class. Remember PE class? She might have on some shorts,
Or 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 she a cheerleader.
or she a cheerleader. But other than that, she
That's
would
it.
wear stuff, and you'd be like, God, man, you fantasize, and it made the relationship, or getting at her, that much more special, and you valued her more.
Right.
You didn't ever see nobody's grandma with a twerking on a pole, or trying to get views and worried about, you know what I mean? You didn't see that, and it's like, I'm not saying it's just black women, but it's like when you see like what's being amplified, and like our culture leads all other cultures. We start the
Mm-hmm.
twerking. We start
Right.
the gang banging. We start this. We do. They use us to like say they use Magic Johnson's son to push this, or Dwayne Wayne's kid to push.
Right.
They use us because when they see us, if it's acceptable for the blacks to do it, let us start doing it. We the one who started out with the big rims. We start with the candy paint. We start all this stuff, and
Yep.
they follow. We trendsetters. We've got dudes from LA who went all the way to the west East Coast and started gang. They use us, and so they said, hold on, man. We don't need to be police. Let these Negroes kill each other. Create this
Right.
little separation, and then let them dudes fly all the way over to Indiana and start selling crack in these other country boys' town.
Right.
The country boys get mad. Then they gonna start gang banging. Then in 2 or 3 generations, we'll have the prisons full. We'll be balling, privatize the industry. These dudes they're out of the way.
Mm.
We can go and buy all their property for cheap because most of them they dead. Their grandparents are dying. They locked up. Their kids is in the system on welfare. Their kids are gonna be right behind the daddies. I remember being in the feds. There was a dude it was the grandpa, the dad, and the son all in the same penitentiary.
That's crazy.
I'm
That's
telling you,
sickening.
man, they got it down to a science. And like, see, a lot of people only look at 2 or 3 years. The people, and people say, who are the people? I'm talking about those who know geography and know areas so that they can basically, whether it's what do you call it when you gentrify or you want to take property, and they've done it
Mm-hmm.
over a period of time, but they know what they got to do to shift something. It's almost like, and I'm not picking on a certain groups of people, but in a penitentiary, if they want to create a riot in a penitentiary, everybody's getting along, they'll bring in a bunch of dudes from a certain city or state, and they know when they go over 30, these dudes gonna start taking over shit. And it's gonna cause
Right.
it's gonna upset it. It could be, and I'm not picking, but you know what I'm talking about. It'd be a cool
Yeah.
penitentiary. And then the warden would be like,
Facts.
hold on, we need to create a riot. So you'll
Yep.
start seeing dudes come in on the bus, and then other dudes would be like, and then you see the table, then the dudes start talking. And then now you got these shot call some other dudes are like, hey, we're gonna change this shit up. It's gonna call the riot. The same thing on the street. Okay, huh? Let's see what happens when we let these dudes get away with this. They're doing the same shit, and a lot of people don't even know they're a part of this plot or plan because they're not cognizant. They're not. They have an understanding, not an overstanding. When you have an
Mm.
overstanding, you're
Deep.
looking down like you're floating over the city like this, and you can see all the pieces moving. That's how they look at the game, bro. And so when I really took a look back, and like you said, I used to be able to look at other dudes, and like you said, dude have on a certain color shoelaces. Man, what's happening? Boo boo bop. Because I was angry. And I had a stepdad, and I was angry. So if I'm mad at him because the way he treats, so I'm mad at all blacks. So it's easy for me to take out anger. I wasn't angry at the white dude. I wasn't angry at the
Right.
Mexican dude. But you're angry at the black dude. Why are you angry at him? But then you want to call this dude racist. But you done created more street terrorism on people that look like you than any white man. So what are
Right.
you talking about? You're not even thinking about that. So when you start really thinking about it and you step back and say, hold on, man, you know what I mean? This dude from New Jersey, this dude from Virginia. Man, what are we? He cool. What am I tripping with this dude for? He cool. The Mexicans get in there. They're from all over, but they get together and organize. They got
Yes, they do.
this from this state. This dude plugging this dude. This dude plug. When they get out, they networking. They doing a thing. But over here, you can't talk to a dude from DC. You can't talk to a dude from New York. You from Ohio. I can't really. If I'm around you too much, dudes from Cali gonna sweat me for walking and hanging out with you because I'm getting game. I can't talk to this dude. But and that's why we never can come up.
Right.
So, when you look at the big picture, man, I watch a lot of these old videos and I see blacks and they be dancing and having a good time. And I'm like, bro, that would have been so fun to be around that many people. And the only time, and maybe you can see that now at a jazz concert, people get along like that. But like the regular concerts, bro, you can't go there because if I see too many YNs, I'm out. I'm not gonna
I'm out.
risk. I'm not gonna risk this dude tripping off me, and
I'm
I know
out.
he's got a pistol.
I'm out. And that's why, like I said earlier, that's why I love your platform. And you should get more love, but they already know they don't want to hear positivity. They want to hear the whack 100s. They want to hear the no jumper, the Vlad. Or now they got Jim Jones and 50 Cent now. They all doing this dumb beef. Stuff like that, man. It got to be a time where we elevate. We stuck, and they know this. But if they go to your platform, they're gonna see positivity. You showing people your art. You showing people your love for your car. You showing people your love for your wife. You showing people your love for God. They don't want to see that in the black culture no more.
Yeah.
But if me and you was on here putting up violence, talking all this stuff, negativity every day, here they come. Because at first, I started my platform talking my prison story. The one day I woke up and said, no, man, I can't keep doing it because I don't want one of these little kids think this shit is cool because we don't have real OGs telling these kids that you can't take that gangster shit from the streets to prison and then that shit from prison back to the streets. They not telling these kids what you going to go through. You can be the kingpin out here, but you might be the low total man in there. You might be the gang chief out here, but you getting there, you going to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna tell them that their mama ain't gonna answer the phone. That their daddy ain't gonna, who never been in life, really ain't gonna be in your life. Your girl gonna leave. Your kids gonna grow up without you. You might get unalive in there. They don't tell, they always make prison and criminality like that shit is cool. It's not cool. Because we setting these kids up for failure. You got kids throwing up gang signs at 5 or 6 years old. There was a guy at the boxing gym. And I didn't know his son's actual name. They call him Draco. I said, man, what dude name? They call him Draco. I said, no, what's his name? So I asked their father. So I said, man, why you just won't call him his name? I said, man, you're setting that boy up for failure? You calling him Draco? Bro, they like me calling my son Uzi or Tech 9. No, they can do it because they older, but a baby shouldn't have it in his mind. And I had to tell dude said, man, you're right, but that's all he know. But that's your fault. You should have knew better as a parent.
See,
And
man.
we setting them up for failure. Like I get an argument with a guy the other day. He out here, I know what he doing, I ain't no fool. Come here once a week, bring 4 people, paying $30, $40 a haircut each one. Come in with a new car, jewelry and shit. So one day we had a conversation and he got on prison. He gonna tell the other part, man, I ain't never gonna listen to nobody who been locked up. I said, fam, I never got caught doing anything in my life. Never been seen doing nothing. I was on a conspiracy, 848, and still went to prison. I said, luckily, I didn't get the 30 years because the judge looked at my military background and I was a first-time offender. I said, man, I really don't know you only for coming to shop the last 5 years, but I can tell what you're doing and you ain't too bright about it because I know from the barber shop and I'm 6 years old. You 35 or something. He's like, I ain't doing. I said, bro, you ain't got no job because you run around this motherfucker too much. And then both his sons box. I said, you got your sons at the gym every night. So you in the shop earlier, you at the boxing gym all day. I said, so you should learn from my mistakes. Then he go say, well, my father been locked up four times. I said, you shouldn't be listening to him. Listen to me. First time offender, I wasn't going back. And I take pride in that because I don't want to be the tough guy anymore. I don't want to take no risk. I'm not going to take no risk. I'm going to work the system. I learned about stocks. I learned about real estate. I learned about cryptocurrency, and I'm still learning. I learned about group homes. I learned about real estate. Everything to put me in the fabric back in America and think like them made me successful. When I was thinking like them, it made me unsuccessful. My black ass went to prison for a long time. But once I reprogrammed myself, retaught myself a lot of things, and came out here and said, you know what? I'm going to be an American citizen. I'm going to do everything the right way. I'm going to pay taxes. Now I feel good paying taxes. I was making, from what the government said, I was making like $250,000 a week. What the government said. Never had a bank account. Never had life insurance. Never had medical. Never had eyeglass. I didn't have a credit card, none of that shit. Because I was doing childish stuff. When I became a man and got rid of that childish shit and became a man, now God had blessed me to get all this stuff going on. Because I'm going to call you later on also and put you onto something that guarantee to make you some money. And it's legit. Guaranteed. And it don't take a lot of education. Don't take no education. It only got to take you. It only got to take you because you big hurt. And I guarantee you, you can make $30,000, maybe $40,000 a month. And I done turned some people on already. And you're going to be shocked when I tell you about it.
Well, you know,
because I learned the system and I know how to network with people now. Back then, I only know how to network with hood people. Yeah. Now I'm dealing with University of Toledo Foundation. I'm dealing with this organization. I'm dealing with DP. I'm dealing with people who wear suits, who I would have never talked to 40 years ago thinking they lames and nerds. I was the lame.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to get up under these people. Now I know how to get up on them. They love me. Now I can tell them my story. They don't look down on me being in prison. Nobody I talked to in the last 10 years who helped me that's Caucasian, they ain't mad. My racism come from my own people.
Yeah.
We the most racist people on the planet now because you hate me this much, unalive me and not help me. These people, even though just say they are racist, are dealing with white supremacy, but you still give me an opportunity. You don't think LeBron owner might be there? You don't think people with Viacom or MGM? But they still give me opportunity. You want to give me an opportunity. And then we the only nationality in the United States of America got your own month. It's a short month, but you still got 28 days to celebrate. Then you got Juneteenth. Then you got historical black colleges. That's all yours. And then you're going to talk about white supremacy when we had a black president and a black vice president that could have been the president? Man, I'm not trying to hear that because I know how to network and I know what people love me because I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. A man helped me get this building. I didn't ask him for that assistance. He helped me get this building. Ain't no black people going to do that for me.
No.
And I ain't talking about all black, I'm talking about in general. Because the people I was around, we were like crabs in a barrel. I'm going to pull you down. But once I started networking, getting around these right people, and I re-educated myself, and I know how to present myself, and I know how to talk to people, and I get outside that street mentality, people sitting there taking me in with open arms. And I love it. Don't want to tell my people, don't let people get on social media talking about, oh, look what they did to us in slavery. Bro, I don't know no white person ever been a slave master.
Yeah.
I don't know. My daughter is mixed. I don't think her mother has anything to do with slavery. So let's stop bringing it up, man. Let's let it go. Let's get rid of the black fatigue. Let's start working together. For one, we got to start loving each other again. When we start loving each other again, we ain't going to worry about nothing else. We ain't going to worry about white supremacy. But one, we got to deal with what's in our house first. Yeah. When we deal with our house and our people, we're going to be okay. They got to start listening to brothers like you. Even with Charlemagne, I just didn't like Charlemagne the guy. I love him now because he straight up. He ain't biased. Stephen A. Smith, I used to like it. Now I listen to it, I was like, damn, Stephen A. Smith keep it real at all times. So these the brother we need to start pushing our kids to listen to. They don't need to be going on Vlad.
Yeah.
They don't need to be going on this platform. Even with 50 Cent, I love his energy, what he's doing, but all his shows are about violence, hustling, killing, and our community suffer Tommy. But Tommy's still using the black gangs in Chicago. I'm like, bro, can we get to some wholesome like Tyler Perry trying? We need more shows like that, man, to reprogram our youth and our family and our adults.
Yeah. Yeah, we need more positive black programming as a point of reference. I mean, you know, there's nothing. Even the Jeffersons, remember he owned the dry cleaners. You know, he was
Yes, yes.
successful. So even that was, and then even when you look at different strokes, you had Tootie, but she was in an all girls private school. So
Uh-huh.
you've seen these young girls going and doing something that looked like they were, you know, prestigious or working in an environment. And going back to those shows like Power, right? I watched it for a while, then I stopped, man, because I'm like, Tariq, his dad went through all that to put him in private school, and then he's gonna go back and start selling dope. Dude, you don't have no need to even do that. Why would you do
Right.
that? Why would you? You're around all these people, like you said, who are opening doors, who are connected, and it's hard for us to get in those circles, and that's why they price us out to a degree with private schools. And it's not about like
Mm-hmm.
private schools is more about creating circles of people, networks. It's like saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I graduated from Princeton or Brown University. Your alumni is connected. You go, oh wow, you went. Oh, you know what, Tyrone? Don't even worry about it. Just call so and so. You got a job Monday. You don't even have to fill out a resume. Ain't none of that bullshit. And that's the thing that these other circles that move like you're talking about, you have to get out of the mentality of hatred and thinking these people are a certain way because somebody done poison you in the hood with some type of mentality and start
Yep.
thinking about, hey man, this guy right here, he has access to stuff and he can give you access. That's why I don't talk greasy. I said, dude used to be in a penitentiary and they used to see me talking with these white guys in the law library when I was studying filing motions and learning about business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be watching the basketball games all day or BET. And I'm like, dude, I'm over here trying to get game. You're in a place right now where you would never be in the same places with these rich people, these people on the streets. This guy who was doing this or doing whatever, and you come to find out he's teaching you maybe about stocks or whatever, but you're around
Right.
people where if you're in a neighborhood, everybody's doing the same shit. Unless you move out of the neighborhood, go over here and start going to maybe a golf club, a country club or something, and start hearing shit, you're maxed out over here. You're not going to get
Right.
all these people have a glass ceiling. A glass. I was just talking with somebody the other day. I'm like, dude, why you want to stay in that town? They know you maxed out. You got to go somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else where you're a little fish. Start hearing networking, and people see you like, oh man, I've seen you over here, and then they want to create an opportunity for you. But you have to sometimes humble yourself and realize that maybe this person, and just keep your mouth shut. They'll maybe
Facts.
open the door for you. You don't know everything, man. This guy might know how to fill out some paperwork, and it's real simple. You're thinking like, dude, a lot of times people making the most money, it ain't that complicated. It's just knowledge, information. Information is the difference between being rich and poor. You got information, you know
Mm-hmm.
about certain things that like whether it's a tax shelter, whether it's a certain life insurance policy, whether it's a irrevocable trust, all these different things, but you have to be around the people that are casually, that's like they grew up on that. Some dudes, their first car was a Ferrari. That was their first
Right.
car. A Ferrari. My dad
Right.
gave me his old Ferrari. My dad gave, when I graduate, I get to pick out a $200,000 car. And you're thinking, why would you spend 200? Because he already got a trust fund that's worth millions. He don't care about
Right.
the $200,000. You're like, oh, that's a waste of money. Not for him. He's
Right.
balling. His family's set. So what you perceive as money, you're like, I wouldn't buy that because you never had money like that.
Mm-hmm.
You never been comfortable for this person. I met a dude one time. He said when his buddy turned 21, he got 21 million. He said he ran through that money, spending it up, and he's like he was depressed because he was 30 or 32. And he's like, man, by the time I get 30, I'm only gonna be down to 5-6 million. His dad knew his mentality, so when he turned 35, he got another 20 million. This is the type of shit these people do, man. And
Right.
you're sitting over here fighting over crumbs. Your
Right.
dad knew that you were going to mess up 20 million, so he had another
Right.
20 to 15 million in a trust that was when you get 35, 40, you can get payments in that. See, when you don't have to worry about money and people, you got freedom like me and you right now, we could be in the beach in Ibiza. If we're in Ibiza, two black men from America, we're around some Colombians, we're around some British expatriates, we're around some Middle Eastern. Bro, we're over here, we're getting game. You ain't never gonna get over here.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing all this international game, or if we're in Dubai, and so when you come back, you're on some other shit. So the thing
Right.
is, you got to expand your mind. You got to get out there and there's so much game, and there's stuff that's generating that you never heard of until you get out there.
I'm glad you said it because when I was in prison, I read a lot of books. Now, then would you tell, you know what city I'm talking about, even though it's not a city. I didn't get no car. And you can look this guy up. He used to own LA Kings, the hockey team. At that time, Wayne Gretzky was one of his players. He ended up getting a federal case. I was down in Milan, Michigan. He came down there. Another white guy was cool with, because I'm going to the law library also. He started coming to the law library. Now, mind you, this man is a billionaire. I don't know anything about hockey. I don't know who the hell Wayne Gretzky is. But when people started telling me, say, man, you know who that dude is? You know who that dude is? I got up money because he always be out there walking around with the Italians. I was cool with some Italians. I went out there and just started kicking him. So every day now, me and this dude going out to the walking at night. Some of the stuff he's saying, I didn't understand, but it was that networking. I'm out on a visit one time with my family. He out there with his family. I don't know about the Red Wings, the hockey team from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Elish out there. I didn't know this dude owned all these piece of places. I don't know. He owned Little Caesar. I don't know none of this shit. He introduced him to me and his family. And I didn't know what I had. But if it had seen me on the compound being a prick, he would never talk to me. But guess what happened? Them guys from the one city that always causing confusion, they started pressing the man. They started pressing him. So what they did, they took him out the compound call. They were putting so much heat on him instead of trying to get with him. They started trying to press the man. So they ended up sending him down to a place called Morgantown. It's in West Virginia, Morgantown. I think it's like a camp or something. They got him out the compound. But dude, you had access to a billionaire. But people, they be so used to being predators and preying on people. Like I tell these guys here, sometimes just shut up and listen. Because successful people talk a lot. They love giving up information because it makes them feel good. But when you think you know every goddamn thing, they ain't going to say nothing. They would talk you and tell you how to get some money. You shut up and listen.
Yes.
Just be quiet for a second.
Yeah.
And I learned that art. I want to be the dumbest person, like you said. When I walk in that room, I want to be, if it's 20 people, I want to be number 20.
Yeah.
I want to be the dumb if I can keep going up. And then when I get around people, I sit back, don't talk. I say, okay. Then I ask a lot of questions later on. Then I start calling people, because I'm going to take your number down. Because a lot of times, I get the information and still don't process it. Like last week, I was on the phone talking to a guy. He on a behavioral health agency. Somebody turned me on to him. I called him. We talked for like 3 hours. 85% of the shit went over my head. But I got enough information from him. He told me what I need to do, how to make some money by getting contracts with him. They're easy. That's why I said with you, with behavioral health agencies, right? You can sit there and start a after-school program in your city. Once you get with them and network them, they would have you go out in the community, get some students in the school system that might be IEP. So they already in the system. So now them being in the system, well, I'm going to tell you when we get off here. And it's that simple, but these people put him on. This dude, his company made $18 million last year. Now, he didn't bring it, take it home, but he got a profit and a nonprofit. And he telling me all this stuff. I'm like, wow. So I've been working on this for like 6 months. The young lady who do the billing for Medicaid, Medicare, she came up here to see me. I gave her my package. I done had 40 kids, right? Signed up. And they ain't even started yet. She took the information. Each kid, you going to sit there and make, well, as a whole, like $2.50 to maybe $3 per child. You get a percentage. Just say they get 60, you get 40, or whatever percentage they want to give you. 5 days a week. Now you add that up. So if you got that many kids attending, then like 400 something thousand a year. But that's for me listening. That's for me talking to the right people. And that's for people trust me enough to put me around these people. Like I tell people, I don't kiss nobody but none of this shit. I just listen, be respectful to everybody. If I walk out this building right now, if I see 40 people, hey, how you doing? 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 I go to the gym now, everybody waving. They see me coming through. People just waving on the treadmill. Because I talk to everybody. I talk to everybody who worked there.
Yeah.
And I don't have a long conversation. Hey, how you doing, man? Have a blessed day. Happy New Year. Because that might change somebody's life. But people also watching that. So, you know what? That's a good young man right there. Every time he comes, he speaks to everybody. He be cordial, he be nice. So they might have an opportunity for me. Then you got dudes walking around mean mugging all day. I'm scared of you, bro.
Yeah.
And then for one, you're black.
Yeah.
So I'm scared. Like I live in the suburbs. I have no problem. One of the barbers came over my house one day. I had bought some protein powder for him because I went to Costco's and I got him 2 things of protein. I got on my phone, neighbor number 1, number 2, number 3. So neighbor number 2 called, hey, neighbor, there's a big black guy in your backyard. He went in your truck. Because my Mara about 6 foot, about 230. I said, no, I told her, I said, I appreciate it. But he let me know. I don't like, look, bro, I got 5 old schools at my house. Because I got a 5.5 car garage. I got a 1970 Chevelle 454 LS5. I got a 69 Bumblebee. It's yellow and black. I got a 442. I got a GTO. And I got a Le Mans coupe in that garage in back. Man, I ain't even got a, damn, I'm about to whisper. I ain't even got an alarm on my garage.
Yeah.
I don't even have an alarm on her. No. A guy just offered me $90,000 for my Chevelle. I told him no, because I know I can get well over 100. Then I got the bill of sale, all the paperwork. I ain't saying it's 100% original, but it's in original form. They only made 3,500 of them vehicles, but they only made 321 tricentennial gold. I got a GTO. I got a 442. I got a Bumblebee that you seen on the movie. 69. All these cars are original state. Original Jackson, all that stuff. Original rims. I might have $600,000 to $700,000 worth of vehicle in my backyard. I don't even have to lock my garage. No alarm on it. And the hood, I'd be afraid to drive one of them cars home.
Yeah.
I go out of town. I don't worry about if somebody going to break into my house. Because now they trust me enough. When I first moved in, I'm going to let you tap in on this. When I first moved in, I'm going to say my block maybe 99% white. I know as an older black guy living down the street, might be late 80s, and an older lady across the street from me, she like late 70s. Neighbor never spoke to me. But as soon as I got the house, I started remodeling it. I'm doing the outside, I'm doing the landscape. I put up a big privacy fence. They see trucks coming. So one day, me and my girl and my partner, we out front, and she doing the flowers and stuff. He come over and said, knew my name. Never talked to the man. Said my name, said, I appreciate you taking care of the property. I'm looking like, my girl get offended because she thought it like some racist shit. Why you gonna say that? I'm like, no, it's cool. That mean he looking. I said, think well, he knew my fucking name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, they put me on investigation soon. I pulled up. Who bought this house? Then he came over there. Now, hey, we like this now. Hey, I haven't shoveled my snow in close to 15 years and haven't cut my grass in 15 years. When his kids out there cutting grass, they got to hit mine. If it's a snowstorm, when I wake up in the morning, they already plowed it. I haven't did none of that. I got all that equipment in my garage and my storage. I haven't touched none of that stuff in 15 years. That's the community I'm in. In the hood, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, get off that black and white thing.
Yeah.
We are human beings. We all come from God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the power of that.
I more than a racial thing, I would say it's more of a class thing. We talk about
Right.
class and people. And like you said, I got a couple old schools at my house, but whenever I have the cars outside, people pull up conversation. I'm at the gas station. Hey man,
Mm-hmm.
pop your hood. What you got? And it's like people see that they don't see a black guy with a Chevelle. They just see a person with a nice car. And it's
Right.
conversation and you know you talking about cars, which is one of my passions. That's what opened up a lot of doors for me. I used to be in LA. I
Yep.
would be driving my Chevelle. I've had cops pull me over. I got a 69 Chevelle, man. What do you got in yours? Man, he got traffic blocked off. Me and the white cop talking, chopping it up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Cool. I done had that happen a bunch of times, man. One cop I'm driving, he said, "Hey, man, that's a badass car," and he said, "Your left tail light, man, it's out." I said, "Thanks, man." Cool as a fan. But like when
Yep.
you carry yourself and you put out a certain energy, people respond to that energy. You know what I mean? They feed off that energy. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how you talk to people, how you address people, and even my neighborhood, same thing as yours, 99%, white. I'm probably a black guy, and I think I see one when I walk with my dogs. I got two little white little Maltipus. I be walking them every night. And but Amazon packages, ain't nobody stealing, everybody over here cool. It's a very nice, respectable neighborhood. Everybody's cool. I mean, this is the type of place you want to live in. You don't want to have to live in a place where I got to have my strap walking from my car to my door,
Right.
worrying about
Right.
somebody following me home and, or, something happening when I'm out of town. And it's like, people think like that should become normal. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, and I meant to touch on is that a lot of people don't realize, like, dude, do you want your kids and your family to be in an environment where they have to worry about looking over their shoulder? You don't want that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't have to. And one thing I used to always respect about the mafia, the dudes, I remember I heard an Italian guy say, I can't remember what it was on, but he's like, my mom could walk home in a fur coat and pearls and nobody would touch her. They don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? They don't do that. But and like you said, in the hood, everybody's a victim. It don't matter. The Amazon guy
Yep.
delivering, the pizza guy, the person over here. It's like, dude, where is your mentality at? But you can't go
Mm-hmm.
over there. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't certain things you can't change. Like I believe there's a divide. You got that, and then you have people over here with sense, and that's just how it is. You would be sacrificing yourself if you went over there and tried to speak sense because that's not going to change. That's just how it is. And it's sad,
Yep.
but it's a reality because I see it, man. I like see these dudes. I'm like, man, I'm not going to go in there and them dudes going to be like, oh, head off. We'll take your head off. We ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
So you got to be discerning. Just like he said, you carry yourself a certain way, you do certain things. People watch you. Oh, Tyrone, man, that dude, yeah, man, he got the old school, take care of property, got this and that. And dude, next thing you know, he been watching for a year. Hey, Tyrone, man, he popped in your barbershop and offer you opportunity, but he didn't. He making sure that he's not inviting bad apples to his circle. You know what I mean?
Right.
They do background checks, man. People check all your stuff. They
Yes, they
don't
do.
Google you, know what you were locked up for, what you were doing. And then by the time
Mm-hmm.
you have that meeting for that deal, whether it's in whatever business, they got a whole, how long you've been married, if you got kids. They do all that because when you talk about getting into their world, they have to be careful, but they have to take precautions. And that's the difference in the hood. You let anybody. You know what I mean? You go,
Right.
you messing with this broad and her baby daddy, he a cold killer. Now you messing with her,
Right.
that you with her, he's a jealous dude. You got to pay attention, man.
Yep. And I'm glad you said it because by me really getting into the cars, always been into cars. This how, because I got a 6070 Le Mans coupe. The Le Mans kind of look like the GTO. So it had a 350 in it. I drove it to a car show, but I'm cool with the other older white guys. You know, they got Chevelle, they got Monte Carlo. One guy in my neighborhood got a Monte Carlo, a Grand Prix. He made it a convertible, 69. He made his own convertible on it. Only two in the country like that. So I meet him at the car show. It might be like 75% white because this car show, people who really got real classic cars, it ain't that shit jumping up and down in the big rims. So we talking and talking and talking. He coming to and say, hey, you want to turn your Le Mans coupe into a GTO? I'm like, I don't know. He said, well, my friend over there got a, I think it, what was it? Beyond, I can't remember. I think it's a 440. I think it's a 440. But he had the engine, he had the hood, and he had the back tail and the trunk. He said, all you got to do is take that off. I was like, how much do he want? Hey, man, you'll be shocked what this man gave it to me for. He had it for like 20-some years. It was on the stand. I gave him my 350 for that engine, and I gave him all together. We swapped the engines. He gave me the hood and all that stuff. He took my hood and stuff because they were going to resell it. I think I gave like $3,000 and they installed it. From the networking.
Yeah, yeah.
And that wasn't me. That was the white guy. They in the late 60s, early 70s. They just like me. They in my neighborhood. That's how I met them. They seen my GTO in the backyard. Dude come knock on the door like, you know, I went back to the street. She's like, damn, that might be the police. He like, I'm looking around the shade like, two little white dudes on my porch. Like, so I go back there and tell my girl, like, man, two little white dudes on the porch. She's like, well, I'm like, shit, what they home? And I ain't even doing nothing. Yeah. So I go around the back, like, what's up? They said, how you doing, sir? He said, we're just walking past. Can we look at your car? I said, oh, sure. Then I met them dude. They went back there and looked at the car. They said, we got some car. No, he gave me a telephone number. We talked. A couple of days later, I called him, was he at home? I went around and he took me out there to a pole barn. Then like 15 cars out there, him and his homie got. And they got race cars. And that's how you network, because at first I still was kind of nervous because I never really been around a lot of white people, even though I have my daughter is white. But when you around them, any pole barn, they got the little cannabis, they drinking liquor, you know, it's different for me. And then I found myself one day, Sonya got mad at me like, hey, she said, you know what? You's a black racist. I said, why is that? She said, you don't deal with black people no more. Then you always got some negative side. I said, I'm speaking the truth. She said, yes. She said, no, you was wrong for following them kids. She said, I seen you in the ring camera. I said, what you talking about? So what happened? It was a racist stuff. I'm coming out the backyard. I see like my 4 or 5 little black kids riding by on the bikes. I'm like, can I say the N word?
Yeah.
Like, man, where the little nigga going? Yeah. So get in the car, they going straight. So I go around this one curve on another block, and I'm going real slow like a black Karen. And I'm looking like, man, where these motherfuckers going? I follow them all the way down the street from another street watching them. Then they kept going. They turned down a main street called South Detroit and went up to Glendale like they're going toward the park. I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I got home, and I really thought about it, like, damn, dude, you was on some racist shit. You turned into a black Karen. I really follow them in my new community.
Yeah.
Because I told myself, I don't want to see them, and it's bad. So I had to reprogram myself, say, man, everybody deserves to be out here.
Yeah. Well, you want to give, I always say, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt until they show you otherwise.
Right.
And,
right.
You know, the gym I go to, there's not a lot of brothers. And so I always make it a thing when I see another brother make eye contact to try to say what's up. But when I see the dudes walking through there, you know, there was a dude last night, you know, he kind of tall. He had his little chain on with a little dime, and you know, and he walks through the gym with his shorts with his tights underneath. And you know, I'm like, dude, look, man, you ain't got to walk like you're the big black what do you call mandingo in here? You know, all the little white women. You know what I mean? Because it's all white. You know what I mean? And there's maybe 4 brothers in there at any one given time. And so, you know, when I see that, I'm like, dude, come on, man. You know what I mean? You ain't got to act like that. But that's them. Like some dudes get in places and they act really bougie. You know what I mean? And then some brother, you see them and they like in the same position like we are. Like, hey, man, you out here. So we both try to get up. We both on the same program. But I done seen it both ways. I done went to car shows, seen brothers with Lambos, and, you know, they get over. I'm like, hey, man, that's cool Lambo. Huh.
Right.
And, you know, he look at me like I got poo-poo in my mouth because he wants to be the only black guy that's cool, you know?
Right.
So we got all these little things going on in our culture, man. And like I said, whenever I go places and I know it's an upper class place and there's not a lot of us, if I seen you at Pebble Beach or at a Concourse show, I'm gonna come up and talk to you because obviously you're on the same page. So
Right,
if you have enough sense or intelligence to be at an event like this or at an art gallery, I know that you're different. You know what I mean? So I
right.
want to make the connection, and that's what you got to look for, man. You look to connect with people who have similar interests that you can learn from and maybe network with, man.
Right. Because I always look at people, whatever I want to do, I find the people who are going to automatically be my mentors.
Yeah,
Because, like I said, when I got into the cars, because I always loved cars, me and my brother, my father. But once I really, because don't forget, I got locked up in '89, so a Chevelle and all them cars really ain't old school. They were getting discarded back in the '80s. Because
yeah,
in front of 70, 10 years old, people didn't know they're going to be these classics. So when I came home and started seeing these cars and I got into them, I love that culture called they think differently.
yeah, yeah,
And when I was going to some of the black car shows, I'm leaving like, man, they got 26, they got loud music thumping. Are they gonna follow me home, take my car, I'm gonna get carjacked? When I go to them shows, I can sit there, some of the guy drove my car. It's just a whole different world.
yeah,
And then I can let my guards down. And it feel good. Like when I first moved into the suburbs, I was kind of like nervous because I didn't think I was gonna be accepted, but now I realize I'm more accepted in them environments. I go back to the hood, a lot of people don't know me. It's mean mugging, it's aggression, it's a poverty stricken mindset, and it's scary because I know anything can happen, so I try to avoid that. Even in the shop, we can tell with guys that's on it, that's on 10. So don't even have a conversation. Hey, how you doing, bro? God bless. Happy New Year. Because you know they own it.
yeah. Have you
You
been
can
to
sense it.
Have you been to the Good Guys car show out there?
I heard of that.
Bro, you got to go to Good Guys. Good Guys is the top old school classic car show in the country. They travel all the while or all over the country. They have them in pretty much all the major states: Texas, California, Arizona. I'm quite sure they probably have something at one of the raceways out there towards you, racetracks or something. But
I heard of that.
yeah, Good Guys is
But
really
what
big. And then you're not too far from Detroit, so you
I
need to.
go there.
Okay, have you been to the Detroit Autorama?
I've been there, yep.
Okay,
And
okay,
the car show. And
yeah.
I go to the Dream Cruise also.
That's yeah, yeah. The Dream Cruise. Now, what about? I want to go out there. I haven't been to it, but what about the cruise in the Mississippi? That big cruise they got down on the coast. You ever done that one?
No. Mm-mm. I never
They
even
got
heard of that one.
they got one called Cruise in the Mississippi or something like that. But it's a cruise and it's all down the coast and it's really big. And then they got another one called Hot Rod Road Tour where everybody in the old school and they just driving across like the Midwest. Because the Midwest, where you at, they got a lot of old school people that are into NASCAR and stuff. So they're in a lot of classics.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. But yeah, I had the best time. And I talk to a lot of those guys, country dudes. They like, man, where you from, man? Where you grew up? Because we've been
Right.
talking about. I'm talking about chassis. I'm talking about brakes. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about
Right.
that. And
Exactly.
we talking. And it's like, dude, it's a whole different vibe. And it's like you come to find out this dude's doing that, doing this, and it's like, man, you a cool dude, man. But it's like it's this conversation. A lot of people they have preconceived notions because what they've seen on social media or what they've heard, but they've never really even talked to anybody like you. So as soon as they start
Hmm.
talking, they're like, man, it's like you're different. You're not what I assumed. And that's the thing. We got to get past the assumptions.
Right. And then you got to look at in life too. A lot of our kids, like my grandkids, even my daughter, them, they grew up in a white environment. So they deal with every nationality. They went to private schools, but a lot of these kids never been around white people, never been around Caucasians. They only been around their own people, so they don't even know how to interact with somebody of another race unless that person is white or Latino in their neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see the beauty in that because when I see my granddaughter and I see my daughter now, cause like you go to my daughter page, 95% of her friends are Europeans, or there's a lot of Asians too, cause she live in Seattle. She used to play pro basketball for Tulsa Shock. Her name Vivian Frieson, so you can look her up. And even the way she act, but my nieces and them down here used to call her lame. call her goofy because she talk proper. But when you around different cultures, you start to see that, man, we all the same. But you would never see that when you think that the white man or Latino man, Hispanic man is your enemy. Once you raise around a man, we all the same. Even when I was in the joint, I used to hang with a lot of Italians. Feel like, man, why y'all even an Italian dude? For one, they got all the businesses.
Yep.
I can talk to them about something called they was in the game, but they had a structure. We didn't.
Yeah.
The first thing I was locked up with Jeannie Gotti. I was locked up Joy Molina. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Molino?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was locked up with him. I was in there with Supreme, some of the Supreme team. Ronnie Bump. You ever heard of Dwayne and Doc Davis?
Sound familiar.
They were the big boys out of Detroit. You ever heard of YBI?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Young
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
He was giving them and the pony down the work. I
Wow.
was in there with their leader, Butch Jones now. I didn't hang with them guys. I was hanging with the Italian dudes. And one thing, man, the Italian guy was talking about Genie and one of his homies. And he said, the problem with the blacks, we don't get along. He said, we all get along. He said, he can be the low man on the total pole. He could be getting high. But ain't a red. We're going to take care of him when he getting here. We're going to make sure ain't nobody going to mess with his woman. We're going to make sure he get visiting. We're going to keep money on his books. So, but he said, with y'all beef. Y'all don't like each other. And he said another thing. He said the same amount of money I made before I went to prison, and when I'm in prison, I'm going to get that same revenue. I said, why? Then he said, because for one, this is my position. He said, my brother, John, was locked up then, because it was like 90 and 91. His name was Jeannie Gotti. I think y'all know. He said, we're going to get the same amount of money. He said, whatever revenue coming, just if I make it $20,000 a month, I'm still going to get that $20,000 while I'm in prison. And they going to give it to my family. My family going to be taken care of. He said they would never have to struggle. And he said another thing why we keep all our businesses, he said, because we pay taxes. Y'all don't. He said you go to any Italian neighborhood, you might see an Italian restaurant, nobody in there but my people. But we're going to sit there and tell the government we done sold 1,500 pizza pies, blah, 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 and write it off for taxes. So the government really don't take a lot of things from y'all. Y'all don't never pay taxes. So when they come in to take it, then y'all don't have a structure where you lead the street that your homeboy is obligated to take care of you, pay your lawyer fee, take care of your family. He said, y'all don't do that. And he was right. He was 100% right.
You know,
he was 100% right.
Is that in Italian and even Asian? I knew some Asian cats I met, like some dudes from Laos and some other guys from like Vietnamese. Dude, their thing is there's a certain amount of loyalty. Like when a dude get out, he making sure he's taking care of you. Like, hey man, you got everything. When you get out, you got a car, you got this money. You know, they look out, bro. It's a different. It's not like you said in blacks where nobody like in Italian or Asian, a dude to come in, but he'll respect this dude. A black dude to come in and everybody be arguing who's the leader. Oh, this dude. They don't have it's no structure. It's no like even in the Mexican, you know, this dude the shot. He's from where they respect that. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? He has a certain status, and they don't have that in the black gang culture and the black crime culture. It's not the same, man, and that's why it maxes out. You know, at the top of the chain, I would say is between the you got the guys from the high up Chinese triad. You got the Yakuza, you got the Russian mafia, you got the Albanians. Them dudes are all organized. They way up here. That shit is so tight. You can't go in there and infiltrate the Irish, the Culligan mob. You know, the guys from Ireland that are running all the boxing. Them dudes are structured, bro. And then they know how to look out for each other. You don't have that over here. That's why, like you said, I tell people in the black culture, especially in the streets, unless you got a Mexican plug, you only gonna go so far. Mexicans, the brothers in LA, they're all connected with the cartel. You got it, and it's because they trust you. If you got a good, all my dudes when back in the day were Mexican. My best friend, I was cool with them because they like, oh, I'll deal with you. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want. They don't even want to be with bothers. So the thing is, when you carry yourself a certain way, whether you're dealing with Asian people, Hispanics, Italian, when they see that you're capable of handling responsibility, a motherfucker give you opportunity. But if he sees like this is who you're running with, they got to weigh it out. Is it worth the risk? Is it worth?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, it's not worth it for them. I don't need to get that extra money from you if you run around with them dudes. That's why when they see that you got a different head on your shoulder, it's like I don't mind helping you because I think you're a good dude. And like you said, the guy was
Right.
honest. He told you the blacks they don't have their shit together. They they don't
Right.
know how to act. All the brothers in L.A. that were kingpins had Colombian drug connections, or
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
that's it. It wasn't no brothers bringing the drug. You had to get it from them. That's it. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
the structure, man, is when you realize even in life, let's just say economics, business, you want to get into banking, or maybe me and you're going to start a restoration shop. If me and you're going to start an automotive restoration shop, we partner up with some white guys. They already got clientele. Me and you now are building cars. We're selling cars. Our cars are starting off 300,000. I got a partner right now, a black guy. He builds old school Mustangs, Eleanors. His cars start off at 250.
Okay.
250.
Okay.
And it goes up from there. But like, that's the entry into the game. See, a lot of dudes, you got this little car, bro. When you're dealing with an old car and somebody's paying 200 something thousand, that's a different mentality. Whoever you're selling that car to, they're probably worth 10, 15 million. Or at least 5 million because they got enough money to put on the car. So it's like all this stuff plays plays a factor. But like some of these things you can show people, but not everybody's gonna be ready to make that move. You know what I mean? You have to be mentally ready to even be susceptible to that type of environment where you can understand that and not want to rob somebody. I was at a Good Guy show one time, right? And I'm always watching people. There's some brothers there. One of the dudes, he looked like he was really into cars, but he had his cousin with him. Now I'm getting some tea, lemonade and tea mix. Arnold Palmer at this thing, right? You bring your cup, you can refill it. And the old white dude had like a presidential Rolex on. I seen it, but I wasn't tripping off it. I'm looking at the other dude, the dude who brought his cousin. His cousin's like, I'm like, see what I'm saying? He's already thinking about how to rob that dude. He's not there for cars. He's looking at like, damn, these people got money. How much that costs? Oh man, he probably got some shit. You're thinking negative at a place where you should be admiring the cars. You're looking at a dude's watch. You're thinking about, man, you could have robbed. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit I ain't got time for.
Right. And I stayed far away from that. I was just telling some guy this a couple weeks ago. And I was the same business I was telling them about. And they would ask me questions about it. I said, man, I don't deal with our people, man. I don't deal with Negroes. I said, because everybody want to be the leader, the boss. I said, I don't have no problem not being a boss. Because I don't care if you know I'm making money or not. Because at the end of the day, long as my family taken care of and they happy, it doesn't matter. So, but everybody want to be the boss. Yeah. Then you're not going to listen. You're going to come in there high. You're going to be smelling like weed. You're going to be drunk. You ain't going to listen. You're going to be chasing broad. So I can't do business with you on a different level because I know you might destroy it for me. Not only you're going to destroy it for me because I got to bring you in. I can't take that chance. So with this business we started, I went on the, cause it got something to do with martial arts and all that too. Cause I do jiu-jitsu. I'm a 4-stripe brown belt. I'm an orange belt in judo. I just wrestle and a little boxing background. So the people I'm dealing with is the one that been in judo. How many blacks in judo? Not a lot. How many in jiu-jitsu? And then you ain't got a lot of blacks in the Midwest and wrestling. So I got a couple of Latinos. Cause I might have to get some Latino kids, and I got some white people. Cause I might have to get some white people. I can't have a business full of blacks, and then I gotta always argue and debate with you about you taking care of your business instead of trying to make this money and learning the game. And you don't have time to try to educate people how to do that. You got to be willing to do that. You got to be willing to be a follower. See, me, I'm a great follower if you leading me in the right direction. I don't care. Like right now, I could be making more money than you, but you still lead me in the right direction. I'm going to follow it because I know I still have another opportunity to make some more money.
Yeah.
Another opportunity just to network with people. Because with me now in my life, it ain't about the money. It's about the relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
If I can build a relationship that's more valuable to me than money, because that's going to come. But everybody now about me, I got to be the boss. What you going to be the boss of? Nothing. I had told some guys this last week. If you run a business and go on vacation for a week, if you got to hurry up and get back that Monday, and go back to work, and you were thinking about that money you didn't make all week, that's not a business to me.
Yeah.
A business to me, that if I want to go to Europe for 8 years,
Yeah.
if I want to just say I'm done today, I'm still going to be making residual income because my real estate going to bring money in.
Yeah.
My money in the stock market going to bring money in. We know cryptocurrency up and down. The group home going to be bringing money in. I would live better in retirement than I'm living now because I don't spend a lot of money now because this money is not for me. But if I got to go back to work Monday morning, if I don't go back to money, I'm going to be hurting because I can't pay my bills. You don't have a real business to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be doing landscaping, but if you don't cut no grass a week, you're going to feel like you're in poverty again.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a businessman like that.
Yeah.
And I told myself, when I set myself up, I want to make enough money to live comfortable. I made a video this morning on TikTok Live, always talking about investing in the morning. And one guy, we was talking, I said, well, I made almost 200K this year in the stock market. I said, I'm going to take 100,000 out and I'm going to buy me a car after I pay my capital gain tax. He said, well, don't you, because we were going live, he said, well, don't you think that's stupid? I said, well, it's stupid because we know the car lose the value since you're driving off the lot, but it ain't stupid for me because God had blessed me where I can buy that car 10 times over, not 3, not 2, not 1. I said, most people say, long as you can buy it 5 times, I can buy that car 10 times. So it's not a done move for me. And then I'm going to use it as a tax write-off, and that's a vehicle for my program. And then another thing, I'm 60. I got to start enjoying some of this. I'm in the 4th quarter of my life. And I set myself up that I haven't bought a new car since 2013. I haven't bought a new car. Every 4 or 5 years, I'm buying a new car, but I'm keeping these cars. I haven't bought a new car since 2013. I bought a Jeep Wrangler because I was in Myrtle Beach, and I liked them. And I said, so I went back and I customized, put the tall lift kit on her, the big tires and shit. I liked them. So I told myself, this is my treat. You turned 60. You made another milestone. Treat yourself, but you can afford to do it. I'm not going in debt to do it. I'm going to pay cash for it. And that's the way I set myself up. But I set myself up also from listening and learning the game about the stock market for somebody who a financial advisor for the last 40 years with Charles Schwab. So he helped me a lot. He put me where I'm at. Yeah. Then I educated myself also, but he put me where I'm at, and also with the cryptocurrency for 2019. But I tell the people, y'all don't know how to network. Y'all don't listen to people. Listen to the people who are doing the things you like to do. Don't listen to your homie. Y'all been riding down the street all day long. Both of y'all got $20 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Y'all got a bag of weed, $20, and a half a fifth of Ciroc. It costs $20. You talking about you drinking top shelf. But they don't know that art yet. They not learning that because in their life, the way they growing up is always about me. I don't have to respect you. F what you doing. My homie doing okay too, but your homie ain't gonna go so far. Like you said with the plug. I didn't have a Colombian plug. If I'd have had a Colombian plug, I'd have took over Ohio.
Yeah.
But I do have a plug with the stock market. My brother-in-law, he works for him. He got one of the biggest agencies in Atlanta. With the real estate, my sister learned me the game. She got a real estate agency, and she got a mortgage company. How can you go wrong? And she would be vice president of SunTrust Bank before she retired. And you ever been to Atlanta?
No, I've never been to Atlanta.
What? They got a place called Brookhaven, and you got Buckhead. It's like real exclusive. But her office was in Brookhaven. So I got somebody in both fields showing me what to do, so I didn't have a lot of problems. Yeah. I didn't make no bad mistakes. They led me the right direction. I'm going to show you something again, bro. My sister, extremely smart. She went to Cal State Berkeley. Girl, brilliant. She goofy. So one day we talking. She said, "Do you ever use your VA loan?" I said, "No." She said, "They got a new program that you can buy a house. I can purchase the house. And I can do this every year. Just say I buy a house today. I can live in it for a year. If I can show the VA that I got this house rented out and got an income coming in, they would let me rent another house. So now we about to start buying property." She just told me this in October. I'm like, "What?" She said, "Yes." I called Navy Fed, and they said, "Yes, you can." She said, "But have you had any rental property before? I said, yeah, I got.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
We're gonna try to get a house in uh Florida. Then her husband want to get one in Trinidad, but my sister don't like it over there because it's so violent. And then she said we're gonna rent them out Airbnb. I said, man, this is on. This is on.
Yeah.
And the best thing that happened that somebody was in that field that researched, and I'm a military veteran.
Well, see, that's why it pays to be around people smarter than you. You know, you always,
Right.
when you're around people, like there's guys out here, the big hustle in Arizona, and a lot of these guys who have car collections is car storage. So you ain't got to deal with
Mm-hmm.
tenants. If you're paying $750 a month to store your car, think about if I got 10, 20 cars in there, I got double list, 20 cars, all I got to make sure that place is secured. I'm making, what is that, 30, 750 times 10, 70, that's 7,500. That's 15,000 a month with no, I don't got to worry about no water bill, no bad tenants, no nothing. And I just keep doing
Right.
that, you know what I mean? And so there's all type of ways. Once, and all you need is property, a warehouse, and make sure the shit is secure. And man, people, you know, because a lot of people, they got HOA, they can't put all those cars on the street. You know, you got your wife's
Right.
car, your kid's car, your car, and then maybe one of your good cars.
Uh-huh.
If you got 5 cars, you got to go put them somewhere. So I mean, there's all type of ways, and that's one of the things, you know, I look into. But like those type of things is like rich people hustles, because rich people, man, there's a spot out here. If I took you up in there, Tyrone, bro, just on the floor alone, they're storing probably $50 million worth of cars. I'm talking about Bugattis, Pagani. These dudes are holding these rich people's cars, $15 million car, $5 million car. They're trying a
Wow.
place to store their cars, and then you look against the wall. They got a 4-car lift, Porsche Turbo, GT, Ford GT, blah blah blah, all in one row, and then they got probably like 8 of those. You go, you
Right.
look around, it's nothing but money, nothing but money, man. These people are they pooping money. You know what I mean, bro? Like that type of shit. But you, like you said, to get in there, you got to act like some sense. You learn the game, and then you know, like I said, there's that type of service when you're providing service for people like that, and half the people they're not even in town. In Arizona, most of the people they're in town now, but they leave in the summer. They live in Alaska,
Right.
live in Colorado. They go somewhere. You know what I mean? They're not even in Arizona. So it's a different
Right.
level of mentality. And then, and like I said, the commonality is the car world. Being in the car, you meet these people and start networking and offer opportunity. There's guys I know. He says, "Man, I just manage my clients' cars. He gets paid just to manage the collection."
Hey, and I need you to do something. Cause see, my nephew, he got a beauty shop and barber shop uh out there in Phoenix. It called 24 Karat. His name Tim Cartier.
Okay.
Look him up. He cut all the Phoenix Suns now. I forget you are in Phoenix, and then my other cousin live in Scottsdale.
Oh yeah, I'm like 40 minutes, man. You got to put me in touch with him.
Yeah, and Tim, he doing real good, man. He cut all the Phoenix Suns, people.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Tim
Okay.
Carter. I'm gonna make sure you call him. Yeah, he doing real good out there.
How's your other nephew? Big boy. I forgot his name. It just slipped my mind.
Are you talking about Brandon Kong?
Yeah.
Midwest Kong.
Yeah, how you
Yeah,
doing?
he doing good.
Okay.
He doing good.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking back and forth, but I was trying to catch him in LA, and then he put me in touch with CT, and I was supposed to do an interview with
Right.
him, but his schedule is only certain days, so I wasn't able to make it happen yet. But you know, good people, man. You know what I mean? It's
Yes, he
good
is.
people, man. A stand-up dude, man.
You know y'all kind of favor.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Man, somebody went somewhere and said, hey, man, you look."
People would think y'all was brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. He always said he can leave little comments and stuff to me, man.
Oh,
Yeah, it's always good, man. We got to do this more often, bro.
right.
Chop it up.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I
Hey,
enjoy having you on. Always good conversation, man. I'm glad we were able to make the connection. And
right.
you know, hopefully, I got a friend that's in Ohio, man. Who knows if I'll ever be out that way or if you're ever out this way? But we gotta.
Well,
We'll be hooking up in the future in person.
trust me, I'm coming out that way.
Well, dude,
You know, I've been out that way several times
well, you
before.
got to come out next time, like next year. Maybe you come out for Barrett Jackson. That's when they got the big
Right.
card auction, and you in the car, you come hang out.
Okay.
Your cousins out here, I come out here. You know, come through and hang out, and we do it up, man.
And then we're going to the Nationals to the Junior Olympics in Vegas. I can drive down.
Okay.
Cause what is that, about 4 hours?
Yeah. Because I usually go to Vegas.
I can drive down.
I usually go out to Frieson, the big car show.
Okay.
Yeah, Frieson. So we got to
Yeah, because they got the Junior Olympic for boxing. Okay. I'm gonna be out there.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're a big inspiration, man. You got a lot of stuff going on, and man, yeah, I want to make sure we do this at least monthly that we can catch up.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And when I get a chance, either we get off, give me like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna call my daughter with you on the phone. Then she gonna give you the information, and then at least you will have a number call. She got behavioral health agencies too, and she'll show you how to get it some established.
Okay. I appreciate it, man.
Where you can start using the program with the school systems.
Okay. Hey, man, it's always a blessing. Everybody, we got my man Tyrone, accidental investor, success after prison. Look him up. He's doing big things. I'm gonna put his links in the description. Hey, thank you, man.
No, thank you, bro. I'm about to call you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.